Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is Work As Resources Soviet Republic Season 4. And I realized that I really messed up. And now I have a couple really tough decisions to make. I'm going to talk you through what all the options are. I don't like any of them, but I hope this will help you avoid what I did. I do have a lot of buses over here going to this bus stop in particular. This one may actually go through. Yeah. Nope. You're going to the same bus side. That's fine. But this is not the problem. What is the problem? Well, let's look at it. I have a lot of money. Apparently we just imported a million of something. I have no idea what that was, but that's fine. We have a lot of money, and that's neat. But this population is not moving the right direction. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we look at all of our growth, this was great. And I made a huge mistake. You probably remember, I was building the little rail yard by the customs house, and that one blocked our rail distribution office. And since then, we've had a really big problem. We had a short spike of population increase, and then I tried to import some people here and tried to import some more people, but we're just not going the right direction. And I tried a long time. I think this was maybe 3 years. Wow. Building. Don't you do this. Oh, just something over here. Yeah, we don't have enough people to make any of this work, honestly, and that is our real problem. And that's what I really have to fix. I expected you to actually be out there and do something useful, but maybe... Yeah, oh, it is just outside the range of the vehicles, but not outside of the range of the helicopters. So let's just replace one of these ladders with a helicopter. I hope that will serve us well down the road. What we have here, 26, 4,900. Yeah, sure. We'll just do 2 of those. I'm happy with that. Awesome. Yeah, we have money, so I can actually do something useful with these. But no, that's not what we're talking about. Let's go back to the thing that actually happens. Yeah, so these numbers, they're not going up. What is the real problem? Well, my happiness in too many places is not good enough. There are some other things, wow. Those graphs, I can't read them anymore. Maybe some of you can read them, but I can't because I don't know what the actual colors are. Happiness, yeah, happiness is okay-ish in some places, but just not good enough in some other places. And let's look at that a little more. Wrong button this time, sorry. Over here, happiness in this city is relatively good. We're in the 80s in a lot of places. We're 70s in some places, 70s over here. But overall, this is relatively healthy. Let's take the lowest one, 68%, 67%. Let's look at some people that drag this number down. I was looking at the wrong one. 75, 71, 16%. 16% is an average productivity of 30%. Not great. But if you're in the 70s, you're at 81%. That is almost max, and that is fine. So that makes life pretty easy. And this is fine here. If you look at loyalty in the same city, we're at 60s, 50s. We're relatively high. That gives you a little boost for a couple things, but overall, that's great because if they do miss something every once in a while, nothing goes wrong. Over here, we don't know what loyalty is, and I'm not planning on implementing that. I don't want to have a secret police out here if I can avoid it at all. Happiness is not great, but we kind of expected that in this town, period. So what I'm going to do is try to have people not living anymore because we don't need this. Only real loyal people can move in here. Maybe that will help this a little bit, maybe that won't. I'm assuming that real high loyalty also means real high happiness, so both of them together may keep this city going okay, but I'm not 100% sure. If this city dies, that is fine, we don't actually need it, but this should help a little bit. If you look at these, so you click on the city name right there, and you see everything that can move in here, and I'm just disallowing anyone that's below 25% and anyone that's below 50% to move in. So we're only going to get 50 to 75 loyalty to get into the city, otherwise the city will just die, and that's fine too. Not terribly worried about that. And that's good. Let's go over here. This city is the real problem. There's a lot of stuff happening in this city, and happiness is generally 50 or below. There's a couple that are above 50%, there are just some over here. But what does that mean? If your average happiness is 50%, let's find one that is around 50%. Oh, there was one, 47, 34, no. 19, 46, 46%. 46% happiness, really low loyalty, gives me an average productivity of 47%. What does that mean? That means instead of serving 125, or I don't know how many people are usually served here, but instead of serving 4 people, you can only serve 2 people. That means half of the people that you normally serve are outside the store having to wait until they can get in. Every once in a while, that's fine, but this is a constant picture. So let's see. Yeah, this one's probably a good example. If we follow Yulia around, then she's probably going to get food here after some of the free time. There we go. After 5 hours of waiting in line, 5 hours waiting in line to get what you want, she gets the food and the meat that she desires. And that is great. Let's actually put our view on her. And that is good. Now, after half the free time that she spent, she has at least the food and the meat. That is not a bad thing, right? No, wrong. Because we're already looking at the happiness and loyalty over here. Now we're just going to follow her. She's going to try to get some culture done. Cool. By the time she gets to the culture building, we're not there yet. Culture building is over here. By the time she gets to the culture building, she has already spent more than 50% of her day. And she only satisfied 2 of the 3 needs that she needed met. But there's one extra need that she still needs, but you can get both of these satisfied in one building. So that is cool. If we look at this, right now there's nobody waiting in front, so this could maybe work. I'm assuming I'm gonna get 100%. Cool. So in this case, Yulia got 100% satisfied of what she needed. Great. That doesn't happen a lot. I followed a lot of people around. Let's just pick the next one in here that needs more. This one, honestly, this one's a good one because you can also see something else. This person is waiting in line again. I'm assuming at like 6 or 7 hours you get to get your food. Great. 100%, 6 hours left in the free time day, and you still want to pray. Apparently, praying can be replaced by culture. So this person's going to go to the culture building, or to sport building, or to any of the other ones, attraction in this case. So she went to the swimming pool. Right now the swimming pool is not overloaded yet, but every once in a while it is, so she may get the attraction fully done. Cool. I want to show you the example of what happens when all the places are overflowing, which happens a lot, and they have to wait outside. The problem is, I'm just going to go theoretical now, because apparently I can't find the right person. I'm not going to look for them forever. What happens is, if there are too many people in front of the shop here, it takes too long to satisfy the first need that they have, which is usually food and something else. They need food every day. I don't know if you know that, but they need food every day. So they satisfy that and life is good. And then they have to go to the next thing, but they only have a limited amount of time that they can do it. So let's assume it took them 10 hours to get food here at the shopping center, which we just saw with the second person that I looked at, which I forgot the name of. It took them 10 hours to satisfy that. They have 6 more hours. Now they have to walk to the other place to satisfy the next need. Walking takes away from the free time they have. Not good. Then they walk there. Now just imagine that that building is also full because the productivity of the workers is low. You also have to wait in line there. Just waiting a couple lines means that you probably won't satisfy your need fully. Let's go over here, because I think I had better chances finding a person that does exactly what I just tried to explain out here. Drink alcohol is not the one that I really want to use. Maybe this one. Well, we'll look at both of these. We'll see what happens. So both of them are currently waiting in line. Let's put them next to each other so we can actually see them. Currently waiting in line, pretty much at the same time. They get in at the same time. Wonderful. So at 6 hours, they start filling up. Cool. That's pretty neat. I think that's pretty acceptable. And at about 10 hours or 9.5 hours, they are done. Let's follow this guy. You have to go from here, walk, 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 walk. We're at 10 hours. We're at almost 16 hours now. Walk, walk, walk. Eventually you make it to culture, and we're at 11 hours already. Again, we don't have anyone waiting in front right now, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, you're going to fulfill whatever you needed here. No problem. You're happy. So you're not the example I was looking for. Darn it. The other person that wanted something else here, wanted alcohol actually initially, also got satisfied with what it needed. Cool, but that's not what I wanted. For example, here, this person already lost culture the day before, and anytime you don't hit 100% of the need that you have, you're missing that need, effectively. And that is the problem. Oh yeah, I built a little tower here that makes it look like you're looking into the things. But yeah, that's the problem. So you have low productivity, and you cannot satisfy all the needs of all your citizens all the time. And over time, that is a big problem. Are you going to fulfill your need? Probably, honestly. Yeah. Over time, you're not going to fulfill your need. And once you don't fulfill your need, your loyalty and your happiness goes down over and over again. And you get into places where you have 28% happiness and people will just leave. Okay, so why did I screw this up? I screwed this up when I built this little rail yard, because what happened was I had a train stuck here, and that meant nobody could go into this block. Okay. Once the train was stuck there, all the other trains that were already heading to the customs house were stuck here, here, and here overall, maybe also in here. That meant nobody was able to move because everything was blocked. That meant this distribution office was unable to send any extra trains out, or already had all the trains out and they were stuck in traffic. That meant we could not move the types of goods that we had to transport from A to B, so we could not produce all the things that we needed, so people didn't have what they wanted for a relatively long time. That lowered happiness and loyalty, because happiness and loyalty in this city is really low already compared to the main city. We have a lot of people waiting in front of the shop, not getting exactly what they want. Because of that, happiness and loyalty keeps going down, because every time they don't satisfy a need that they have, that will go down. Every once in a while, we get lucky and actually added another small store over here for clothing and electronics, just to see if I can actually fulfill more needs. We're going to follow this guy around, maybe. Just to see if we can fulfill more needs. Just because I wanted to try. But there's still the same problem. Every once in a while, you get to that stage where you don't satisfy all the needs. And then happiness and loyalty goes down. It keeps going down and down and down and down and down and down. And then that affects the next day of wherever you're going to work, because you're not going to produce as much or not produce as well or any of the other things. Where are you? You're walking over here. So you're not going to fulfill your demand. I'm pretty sure about that. You're going to the soccer field. I added that down earlier. We are at 16 hours now, and now you did not satisfy your sport need for the day before, only 68%. And that is what I see a lot. They get a partial fulfillment of their need. And that simply means your happiness and your loyalty keeps going down. This person's going to work at the radio station. That's not helping. Low happiness and low loyalty is not going to give me many bonuses for any of this. So that is the problem. What can you do to fix that? That was a long-winded, hopefully, explanation of what is going on. What can you do to fix that? Well, one option, which I played with for the last 3 years in game, or 2 years, or 4 years, I honestly don't know. But played for several years now, was move people around. Take the people with really low happiness and loyalty, move them into the big cities, and then replace them with really happy people. The problem is, whenever you move a person, show you. Let's just take them from here. Whenever you move a relatively happy person, give me someone that's relatively happy, don't care who it is. You're relatively happy. 60. So here's a good example of why loyalty and happiness matter. Happiness is only 64%. That by itself would have a really low productivity, but loyalty is really high. That's why a productivity gets a bonus in there. Let's find someone that's similar to that. Yeah. No, we need 60% happiness. There was one. 57. I guess loyalty and happiness is pretty high on this one too. Loyalty and happiness is very related to each other. So let's move over here. No, the problem is I won't be able to show you exactly what, because I can't move individual people. What I'm trying to say is, when you move anyone, their happiness drops, gets a really big chunk chopped off. Oh, I'm just going to move someone from over here. These are all relatively high. 84, 74, something. They're in a pretty good space. Let's give me 5 of these so we can maybe find them and put them into. Oh, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, your happiness is already super low, so who cares? Just go somewhere. I want this building empty. And now we're gonna move just 5 people into this building. Oh, come on, come on. That 84% again looks good. Give me 5 relatively happy people, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Can't click there. Relocate 5 people. Cool. Move them in here. They have now 62%. So the people that just moved here were near 80%. Now, none of them are near 80%. The 62% is also not right. So they lost potentially 30% of happiness just because I moved them. That happens to everyone you move. So just moving people around from this place to the big city, that can work because they already have a really low happiness. But then moving people from the big city back into the small city here means happiness is probably still going to be just around 50%, if that, probably even lower than that. And that doesn't help because then we're in the same situation. So moving people around by themselves doesn't work. Okay, the next option is adding more stores, because that is one of the problems that we had. I had a culture and store problems where people have to wait in front of the store to get their needs met. Well, that didn't work that well either. It's just too slow. That's the best explanation I had. It's too slow and it's taken away a lot of workers. So I have 60, sorry, there's 30 workers here. So I have 90 workers per shift or per day still not working the other industries that I needed. And it's taking away workers, and it's not really helping with the problem either, because we still have workers in front. I did try putting another store, another another regular size shopping center, this one, over here. That seemed to help, but overall, there were still enough problems that people were just not happy enough to get what they needed. And again, because we're taking away more workers, we run into issues in the winter when, for example, the heating plant doesn't get what they need. At this point, I'm resigned to letting these clothing and food factories just work when they want to work, because I am importing food for these guys right now, so they stay happy and happy enough. So that didn't work. Adding more buildings didn't work. None of those things worked. There's another option, which I tried. Instead of moving people from the big city in here, I invited new people. I spent 3 or 4 million over a certain time frame to just add more people in here, but that's not a lot of people. That's less than 500 people right now. Maybe 1,000 people. It's not a lot, but if you invite them, it's about 70,000 ruble per 10 people. So 7 million is, no, times 10 is 690. So 1 million is 100 people. Not quite, but 700,000 is a million people. So 100 people. So 300 people is about 2 million, approximately. Not exactly. But for 3 million, for 2 million, you get 300 people. So for 4 million, you get 600 people. That's not a lot of people in this city, because this city itself is it's about 3 or 4,000. So just replacing that many people did not make a huge impact, and it really didn't let me grow the city and do the things. So I'm resorting to one thing which I'm almost disgusted by me doing. We're gonna change the difficulty. I'm really tired of this, and it's been probably, we've been close to 10 years now. Let's see what the number is. We've been at 12,000, which is just about here, since 1987. That is 7 years already, and the population hasn't really changed. It's actually shrinking right now, and that's not helping. If we just look at last year, we had some more births, but they're eclipsed by the escapes, so that's not helping. And overall, we're not growing. We're not growing at all. And it has a lot of reasons. I think one of the problems I also have in this city is overall I cannot keep up with crime, but I cannot keep up with crime because everyone is very disloyal, and that doesn't help. Now, I tried to turn off crime and justice again, just for a little while, to see if that made a difference. It didn't have a huge impact yet. I think it's a very long-term investment that eventually will work out. I tried it for about 2 years. It didn't make a difference that I wanted, so I was just like, nope, I am not willing to wait. You can call me a cheater, that's fine. I hope I don't have to ever do this again, but we're going to run on not just reasonable or medium reactions, we are going to run on small, easy citizen reactions. I tried it out, and the population growth is about twice as big on easy as it is on medium, and I need people. I would like to move this save along, this season along, and without people, we're just not going to get there. So we're going to set it to easy for a while. How long? About as long as it takes to get all of these people up into 80% of happiness, which is what the happiness is in our main city. Again, the main city is already close to 80%, so, or above 80% in some places. So I'm not terribly worried about them. I'm just worried about this city. Once it's around 80%, and maybe at that point we will have 15 or 20,000 citizens sitting laying around somewhere, I think then we are in a good place. So we're gonna do this against my better judgment. If you're shocked by that, I am too, but I tried a lot of different things. The crime helps. Adjusting the crime helps from the last episode, but it's not enough. It's too late. I should have done this a long time ago, but I didn't. So we are where we are, and I hope we're going to get out of this eventually. Once happiness and loyalty is up again, and once happiness is up, loyalty will go up a little more, and that should help. Once we are back in a good state, I will go back and fix all these police stations. But for right now, it didn't make a big difference, so I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, let this run. So we're at 12,000 people, and I'm expecting this number to start just not skyrocketing, but going up pretty good over the next month or two. And we should feel that pretty nicely. Again, everyone here is pretty happy, and that's all I can really ask for, and it's fine. Cool. Well, what can we actually do today that's not just sad and depressing, saying that B-Ball Joe has to change his citizen reactions to easy? Very easy, actually. Let's do... Oh. On better news, I have produced some of my own steel. And we use that steel to actually complete the rail that's over here. The other thing that I did do some terraforming over here and get some roads completed. This guy was done. Eventually I moved some of the old cranes from somewhere. I don't remember where I had them out here. But yeah, the harbor is done. So this is the general cargo harbor. This is the containers and vehicle harbor. And then we have our aggregate unloading as well as our aggregate loading harbors right here. So everything is kind of there and ready to go. And this is all pretty and I like it. But this also means that eventually we need ships. Yes, we do. Do I need to buy ships or do I need to build ships? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I probably have to buy just a couple just to get things rolling. But even one ship of something, it's going to take forever to pay back the investment. It's going to be a while. Let's have you get started on this one, please. So we get that back. But yeah, it's going to take a while. It's not great. Also, this guy was on fire at some point. So I'm glad that that's still standing here right now. But yeah, we need a ship. And as you can see, I started building this a little road through here because it's going somewhere specific. This little construction office that already has a few vehicles in it. See that? It also has some fuel in it, I hope. Yep, it got filled up. Wow, how did you get filled up 100%? Doesn't matter. But we have some stuff there. What do I want? This island over here. I think this island is a perfect scenario for a dry dock. Why is that? Well, the thing is, a dry dock does not have pollution. I love it. It's not here, it's in engineering. There we go. This dry dock. Max power consumption, max wattage, stations for vehicles, parking spots for vehicles, warehouse. No pollution. No pollution. It has noise pollution. It should maybe be considered, but it has no pollution on it, so I'm going to go with that. I didn't test this, but environment pollution is definitely a number in here. So I'm just going to trust the team from 3 Division to tell me that there's pollution, if there's pollution. And then I have this little area that just feels very nice for building ships, so I want to use this. I am very, very aware that we may need to get rid of some of these sandbanks that we have sitting there, but I will deal with that once we get to it, because for right now, I am more than happy to just put 2 of these down, because we can always hollow out the water a little more if we have to. Dredge out the water, I believe is the real word, but this should get us to what we need. Now, workers, and these guys is 500, 100 educated and 400 regular workers, so we have to build a city around this that can actually make that work. The first thing I want to do, because that's how I always do things, is set up the infrastructure that we need here. I was going to see if there's a way to make these line up nicer. I think, no, like having them sit right next to each other could be an option, but I don't think that's a real option in this case. So we're just going to leave them the way it is. So the first thing we need is figure out what all we need to store in dry docks. And they need plastics. We're not producing them. Ouch. Electronic components, we're not producing them, ouch. Fabric, we're not producing them, ouch. Mechanical components, we're not producing them, ouch. And electronics, we're not producing them, ouch. And then 300 tons of steel. So, at some point I have to produce all of those. It's going to take a long time to get there, and again, we need the workers. We already gained 200 workers in just the time he's speaking from earlier till now, so that is great. But there's all this stuff that we need. So we need a warehouse, and we need steel. What's the internal storage? Actually, internal storage on these guys is relatively large, which makes me think I don't need to store extra stuff. I can just use a rail distribution office to fill these up whenever they need it, and life should be pretty good. So we're going to do just that. Give me a cargo line. I really like the bigger ones that we can use. I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. We can't connect to everything. That is good. We have to do this in a way that does not block the road connections. So I think if we move you just slightly over here, it should be fine. Having the longer cargo station is actually very useful. And I was thinking if I want to move the road entrance from here to the other side of the building, but I think this will be fine. Having these really long cargo stations is very useful because you generally don't need to worry about turnaround points or anything else here. So, actually these roads are definitely going to be the asphalt roads with extra walking speed because I need workers to actually get to this. This one can just be a gravel road because it's just an access road for a fire station eventually, and that looks fine. And yeah, there we go. Now we can almost, and I say that knowingly, almost start planning our city. This city doesn't have to be humongous, actually. This city just has to be about 1,000 workers, maybe a little more. And that's it. That's it. We don't need a ton of workers, plus some utilities, so 2,000 is probably the right size. What I'm hoping is that we can use some of these workers to bring them to the steel mill over here, just as some peripheral workers, but I am not anticipating that that's going to be a huge issue. So let's just plan this for about 2,000, 2,500 people, which is a pretty decent size, but not humongous, and see how that goes. I would like... Now the question is, do I use trolley buses or do I use just asphalt roads? For right now, I'm just going to use asphalt roads. I can still change my mind on that later on. Let's just lay this out. And the way I'm going to lay this out is I will try to keep a lot of the residential areas near the docks and have a lot of the commercial areas away from the docks, so we get most out of everything. Passenger for citizens. This one, bus stop. I don't believe... Oh, that's nice. How big are you? 500 passengers. That's pretty good. What about a bus platform? 230, 500. So, yeah, this could actually work really well. Don't dislike this. There's also the option of putting a train station here. That's really nice. 10,000 people. It's bigger than the city is supposed to be. Yeah, that's not what we're gonna do. Let's see here. Cargo citizen station. There we go. There should be something here that has terminal building, just like this. Oh, this is great. I love it. Put the terminal right here, where any worker can actually access the buildings that we care about, but can also make it to the station. I like this. I like this terminal a lot. It does have a road connection, which I believe means that you can get a bus stop in there, but it may also interfere with other things. This is a more modern station, but it has a better bus stop connectivity, I believe. But I'm pretty sure it's not a through station. So let's see, what else do we have? A little smaller, it's not helpful. I'm letting this run because if you look at the population numbers, they are growing nicely, and that is very important to me right now. This one does not have a road connection, so you are out. What do we have here? Embankment, tram stop. No, they're not helpful. This, too small. Way too small. I used this one, back in Season 3 on the bus stop by the... Oh, this is good. 2,000 people, but you don't have a road connection. We're getting there really close. By the airport. But doesn't always work. This one is nice. What's your size? You are 1,500 people. Honestly, that is a really great size for what I want to do here. So, yeah, let's just align this up somewhere here. We can put some peripheral buildings around this as well, but just one central train station like that should take care of a lot of things that we can think of. Wonderful. Now, something a little more straightforward, I hope. Get these all connected, and I would like them... There's another building destroyed? Come on. What's happening here, B-Ball Joe? Really? Oh. Oh. I think some of the problems are we don't have enough... Just enough people to make it out here to this bus stop, simply because that village that I was talking about earlier, this one over here, does not have enough workers for anything. So, that's another reason why I need the happiness in this village to go up. Are you curious to see how much happiness we gained in the time that I looked away? Pretty much doubled it in a lot of places. That is great, but we're not there yet. Because there's still a lot of buildings that are pretty low. I may actually just let this run for about a year until I accept that we are good enough. And I would really like this number to at least reach 15,000 before I go other ways. Nice. That one's already done. Are you dropping off anyone? You are not dropping off anyone. I don't think so. Oh, just a couple people. 16 to be exact. Some people are going to go in here, and some people are going to probably end up in there. That's fine. But yeah, let's continue with this city because I think it will look great. I do feel that we will need at least one bus stop right here, and I would like to use... where are you for station? This one. Just one of these. We could use a trolley road. We could totally use a trolley road, but honestly, not the biggest fan of trolley roads. So, how about we just use this instead? Come on. Hoping you just about fit on the outside of this, because that doesn't look terrible. I will leave these roads alone for right now. At some point we may need that. Why do I need a bus stop here? This can be a bus stop. I'm an idiot. You don't need a bus stop there. Because it is a bus stop already. That's why you picked them the way you picked them. Still, it's probably beneficial if I have the turns a little more geared towards the outside, because then the buses can actually get there. But I like this. I like this. Now looking at this, we may put more commercial here, because everyone can reach it from there. And we have a lot of residentials right here. And here? I don't know yet. I don't know that we need to go all the way out here. I wouldn't mind putting some tourism in here as well. I think that could look kind of cool. But let's continue with what we're doing already. Okay. Just have two come in here. That honestly looks really good. And then the cargo trains can just switch tracks right there. That should be okay. Do we need 4 tracks for passengers here? No, absolutely not. But does that mean we're not going to use them? No, absolutely not. So, if you come out here relatively straight, that looks good. Then if we can get this one in here, that looks good. A little more straight, just a tiny bit more, and then wherever we can. Aww. Okay. I just need a little extra space, just a tiny bit. I don't need a lot extra, but a little bit extra space. It may make this turn a little sharper than I want it to be, and we could... Actually, we are going to put 2 tracks right here. I don't know how straight they are. We don't have snapping yet. That connect into these 2 guys, and then those 2... Actually, stop this. Stop this. Do the crossover first. Diamond crossing right there. Good. And these 2 can just connect straight into here. That looks good. And then this part, you can take back a little bit. That can connect into whatever track we have over here. I think it will be prudent to have at least a little bit of queuing space. before we merge passenger and cargo train, but this should be enough. Especially if I have a rail distribution office handle all of this. This feels very appropriate. I don't like how the angle already happens to be here, so just try that again. A little better. I like the starting point there. Crossing not allowed. Are you serious? Come over there. Come over here. There you go. What are you? Come on. And then too steep of what? There you go. And there you go. There shouldn't be a problem. Cool. Now we have that connected there. This makes me nervous, so let's try to do that just one more time. There we go. That's connected. Yeah, we don't need to have them turn around here. They can do everything they need to do from exactly where they are. And then the next thing I should think about is how I'm going to get those rails connected back to the other side. I actually like the idea of having a little bridge here. I don't think that would look terrible. I don't know that it's completely necessary, but I think it will look nice. So there you go. There you go. Part of me has decided that we're not going to use electric trains this season. How did I miss that so much? How did I miss that by this far? That seems impressive. Very impressive, actually. No terraforming required, and this one's also good. And then, where do I want you to go? I want you... probably... You can follow the coastline, mostly. No. 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 Try that again. Just... Gosh, you see how terrible that looks? I am not... No, I can't do that. So what we can do is not even that. Wow, no. Let's get rid of all those. Make a nice flat piece of track right there. Track? Yeah, track. Rail. Then connect these pieces again. They should be... Oh, come on. Really? Are you kidding me? Deep breaths. This is not doing what I needed to do. Try again. Okay. Right up there. Very good. Right up here. Very good. Again, this rail bridge is probably not really required, but I think it'll look nice. There's still a hump there. Oh, I tried. You saw me trying. I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours to make it look pretty. Sorry. That looks good. And then these guys can just take the scenic route to the steel mill, I think. Consider putting a bridge there, but I think we're going to get a bridge right after this as well. So shouldn't be... There you go. There's a little cliff face. Sure. Same bridge. Sounds good to me. Relatively straight. Should be fine. And then, yeah. Nice little trip here. How long is this? I have no idea. We can measure it out later if we really want to, but for right now, I'm okay with not knowing. Have you continue here, here, and I think we are about to hit our track. Beautiful. I have not yet decided what to do with the track that comes out from here. Maybe at some point I will connect it to something maybe I won't. But for right now, I just found it important that there is a connection available if we need it. So let's hope that this will stay snapped all the way and stay nice and pretty, because then our reconstruction office can get started working on this, because it will take a very long time. We don't need street. We need this guy. Sometimes it's important that you keep your track origin on the same side, because that means the track bed is laid out a little nicer. So that's what I'm doing here. But that should be fine. I am relatively happy with this for what we're doing. Yes, we could technically build a bigger bridge over here and come in there, but then the ships will have probably some problems connecting with something. So we'll just let this happen. Things autosave just when I click the button. I don't know how you timed that so well, but nice. So that is here. There's a potential now over on this side that we could build the first bridge on this cliffside. I scouted out already. There is a little point here where we could put a tunnel in the mountain, and that could connect us over here. That would possibly, potentially, I'll show you what I'm talking about, that would potentially not even cut off the train traffic. See that? Sorry, not train traffic, ship traffic. Because it feels like there is plenty of room underneath that bridge. This bridge is not humongous, but it's pretty big. But it's not completely unreasonable. So we may do that. We may do that. We may not. I haven't fully decided yet at this point. And I don't think I have to. Cool. So this is set up, doing its thing. Now we need a city in here. What do we need for a city? We need a lot of things for the city. So let's get started with something. How about, I would like to grow the city a little bigger if possible. So I think we're going to start with a larger shopping center. This is the first bigger one that I'm using. It's actually interesting. Is there any way I can, wow, we could supply this by train. Could we really, though? Yes, we could really supply this by train. I haven't done that before, but I like it. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? We need food, electronics. Like, all the little things that we need are generally smaller capacity than this building actually requires. No, I don't think a train delivery in this case would make enough sense to make this a thing. We're just going to flip it and put you right on the corner here. Yep, that's good. And we're just going to use a distribution office to connect to this one and bring the goods in some other way. We could build a warehouse here, technically. But I don't think that we have to. How do I want to supply the people here? That is a question I probably have to answer right now. I can't really wait until later to make this real decision, or can I? You know, where would I put it? We could put another warehouse somewhere in the mountain here, because there's probably going to be another city out in this area, because that's another big flat area. And honestly, I am somewhat planning on putting some of our productions here in this little valley. Is that a valley? Yeah, I think it's a valley at this point. So that could work and be helpful. What warehouse can we throw in here? Just want to see my options. If we do the original one, I would have to move stuff around, and this may or may not. Well, you could connect it this way, that you are part of the rail network, and that could work. That's not terrible, but I don't like that too much. This warehouse feels pretty appropriately sized, honestly. But that will block off some ooh. There's this guy, though. Yep. I made that decision. Should this be connected to the storage? Or not to the storage, but to the shopping center? You know, maybe, but putting it here means I don't have to worry about more cargo coming in, and I think that is worth it by itself. So, don't know if I want to keep this here. Haven't fully decided yet, and I haven't fully committed yet. It's still planning mode, and we can still change all the things that we need later on. Cool. Yes, let's leave that alone for now. I think that is fine. Before I forget, let's give myself these connections that I actually need. One has to go this way. Cool. And one has to go this way. Cool. I just really want to make sure that I don't forget these connections, because they will be important. But yeah, these should definitely be in walking range for anyone that may live there. Awesome. So that is the first piece. The next piece will be, we have shopping center, done. Grocery store, done. Restaurant, don't really need it. Pub, I mean, what city where you're allowed to, oh, this is actually a cool spot for it, just by work. I kind of like it, but they would all have to go through the train station to get there. I'm not a big fan of that, but if we can fit you somewhere over here, why am I making this so tight? There's no real reason. There's a lot of space here. The pub is something I probably want to add, but not right now. Cinema, yes. We definitely need a cinema. Just align it with one of these roads, and I'll be happy enough. Cool. Gallery of art, don't need it. TV station, maybe eventually. Radio station, maybe eventually here. Indoor pool, yes, for sure. Yeah, sure, why not? You can fit in right here, and you're more than in walking range of anything else that may go on. Maybe going on here. Have another walking path there, and have this connected here. Cool. Usually I don't connect all my walking paths right away, but I think in this case that could be fine. I have a vision for this guy. Let's see if we can actually put that into practice. So I would like there to be a roundabout here. About 20 meters, sure, sounds great. And give me this guy. Sure. Take that back. Then another piece of the roundabout here. Honestly, that feels pretty close. Then have these roads just kind of feed into the roundabout from here. Try again. There you go. Wonderful. Take you back a little bit. I don't think this is going to add any real efficiency, but I think it will add a little interest to the city construction or building. That looks good. And then have two more pieces connect in here and potentially one more road going off here. Connect these guys at a relatively 90-degree angle. Oh, come on. I didn't make this long enough. Just one piece. Come on. I saw it. It was already green. Another building burnt down. Was it 3 buildings in this whole episode? That is amazing. What were you? That doesn't make sense. Oh no, that does make sense. Because we don't have firefighters in this fire station. The fire trucks were already there, but we didn't have a fire station, so everything that was in there just gave us a lot of money back, but that's not quite what I want. We'll just leave that alone. Again, we just need a lot more workers here and a lot more happy workers. There's no worker waiting right there. That is not very helpful, but we are growing our population. And if we look at our overlays for how many free flats we have, that's just too many. Too many in these buildings. There are some all over here, but we probably have 200 or 300 extra positions, especially because we now have this prison being here. That takes away a lot of workers. We should probably actually add a couple residential buildings while we're here, because we're not going to recover them. We need a little extra, some extra workers in this area, otherwise we're not going to be able to... what am I trying to say here? What are you saying? We need extra workers because we added extra workplaces, and the extra workplaces are going to just take the workers away. Something like that. No, it's not quite. Not quite it. There we go. Plop you there, plop you here. Are they too close? Maybe a little bit, but I think they're fine. Have you connect here, and this is 300 extra workers. We can probably do another one somewhere else, but this should be fine for now. Get you assigned. That looks good. Number 1. Yeah, come out here. Beautiful. Back to where we were. 3 buildings burned down today. And honestly, it's mostly because the, what is it? The current staff shortages. Yeah, that's the word. Okay, cool. So this is here. What do you do in the middle of a roundabout? You put a big red star monument because it's the best one to place. Put you this way, so you're actually somewhat straight. What do you do if the... there we go, it actually fits. I was worried there for a second that it won't let me fit it, but that's a beautiful spot for this. This is sadly not centered. Am I really annoyed by this not being centered? The answer is yes. I'm gonna do this right. We're gonna do this right. I don't do a lot of pretty builds, but when I do, I better make it pretty. So give myself a little hint of where these are. Good. Then give myself a starting point that hopefully is right in the center of these two. This feels pretty central, I'm not gonna lie. Then turn this around all the way to there. That feels good. Then, well, this seems to work so far. Too sharp of a turn, too sharp of a turn. Beautiful. That didn't work. I need to make the... Ooh! Ooh! Actually, let me do that. That's beautiful. Let's see if we can get these connections quite right. Turn in there. That looks good. Turn in there. Now this is pretty centered. Now I do have to make sure that this monument still fits. Otherwise, none of this really matters. Keep clicking until it works, or you have to make the loop a little bigger. I think the answer is make the loop a little bigger. That's okay. That's okay. I do feel like we have a technique now that's going to make this relatively easy. So let's try that again. Come out a little bit and then meet me in about the middle of what we are here. Then give me the correct road. Do this and increase the loop. The turn. The circle. The circle. That's the word. Sure. That's perfect. Yes, absolutely. People also can't make it better. So it's perfect. There you go. I would say that's pretty centered. The footpath is even pretty close to going straight in there. I actually like that. Get that connected here. You did have to fight me, don't you? See, I don't think this is gonna... Oh, no, you are doing what I want you to do. Then from there to there, that is more acceptable. Not a perfect circle. I am not bothered by that at all. This is still B-Bozor construction, and I think you all learn to appreciate that. Have you come in here? That looks good. And then here. Oh, nice. And even get another road connection from right there. Just use this crux in the road. Beautiful. And then this one, instead of pretending like this was not planned, let's just plan it out so you're actually coming from the center of this. Do this. There you go. That looks fine. That does not look that fine. Looks fine enough. I'm happy with that. Looks like a little mannequin. Probably need a little head up here. I like it. Cool. So that's all connected. We have somewhere to go. And we are at the end of the episode. So, yeah, we destroyed a couple buildings. Wonderful. We have gained about 1,000 workers. We have gained a lot of happiness and health. That is excellent, but we're still not there yet. At this point, I'm not looking at the money. I have turned off steel imports. Once we turn on steel imports again, that's when we will see problems. But for right now, we should be pretty A-okay for the moment. Let's check how this city's doing. Pretty much dead. Wait, what did I click on? Free flats. Expected, yeah. So there are not a lot of people living here anymore, but still some. And just high, I suppose just high loyalty people when they're still here. Actually, we don't know the loyalty, but pretty happy people actually, which is not a terrible thing, to be fair. So we're gonna let this continue what it's doing. How about over here? That's being constructed. That is great. Then how many free flats do we have? Still a lot in these buildings. We have to fill those. Once all of these buildings are filled, I think I can turn off the easy reaction, but for right now, that's what we need. This looks better because everyone is happier. They have better average productivity, but we still have people with really low productivity. So we're not out of the woods yet. I can probably go through here. I really tried to nitpick these at some point, but it got so tedious, and there's so many cases in here. I really hope I don't have to turn off crime and justice at any point. I would like to keep this on and just let this ride out the wave. Just not ideal. Look how many cases we killed last year and how many cases we're killing already this year. It's just not a good situation. But if you have too many cases on going at the same time, they're just not going to work on anything. So actually that limitation is too high. There you go. People with higher loyalty should commit less crimes, and this is what I want to see. This number has to tick up right away, really fast. That's what we need. This looks fine. This looks fine. I hope at some point I can turn off these. It looks like this one already turned offable. That's good. This one still kind of exists, but save the workers as much as you can because you will need them. And there's just nobody waiting here, and that is a problem. This looks fine. This looks fine. This looks fine. Once we have these guys done, and number one can actually get started on those two buildings. Once we have those guys done, they should have power. I don't know if they have heat. Do they have heat? Did I not check that before I plopped them down? They have, wow, they don't, they may have power. They may just have power. I didn't look for that earlier. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cool. Yeah, looks good. This is not constructed yet, but that is fine. This all looks fine. You're fine. We have some power in there. Oh, I did stop exporting bauxite because we never had enough bauxite for this guy anymore, but it looks like I may be able to turn that on again. Now we're at missing chemicals, and the chemicals come from here. There was a comment that missing gravel. How do we not have gravel? Oh, because nobody ever comes out here to work anymore. Yeah, that's a problem. But yeah, we just don't get people waiting at the bus platform. No workers. So yeah, we don't have gravel, so we can't produce anything. That is not very helpful. We do need someone working there. I think we can fix that. I did say at some point we're at the end of the episode, but you know me, that's not really how I work. Let's get one prison bus to go. First check, can you go here? Yes, you can go there. To go from here to here to here. I smell that there may be a problem with this because I have all these trucks set to wait until full. So let's see if this little guy can actually do what I need it to do. But if not, well, we'll just fix it next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the start made sense. I screwed up because I let people get too unhappy, and then the recovery options are either super slow or not even feasible, that I decided to go the cheating route. Hope you forgive me. I want this season to continue, and we've been sitting on the same population for way too long, 7 years already, going on 8, and we're just not getting anywhere at that rate. So I have to recover. Once we're recovered and have a couple more people, I think we can go back to hard settings. And you have someone on board? You do. Go back to the hard settings and get everything else done, but for right now, this is probably all we have. I may let this run for a year, let a couple things continue to build and construct, and then we go back to constructing that harbor city with the dry docks. How's that sound? Pretty good? Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.